Hey guys, so this week I thought we could draw this
No,
little...
draw a robot.
Alright then, I guess we're drawing a Mech. So this is Chroma Moma, and I've been following him for a long time. I really like his Mech and robot drawings. And he brought out a new book, description, links, everything in the description down below. But he also made a little challenge with a whole bunch of thumbnails. I guess you can see them here. And I already did a couple, but I just wanted to show you how I work with thumbnails. So let's get started. All right, so here is a screenshot of the thumbnails of Chroma Moma, and I already did these two. So I can come over here and I can show you this was based on this, and this one was based on this. This was actually the most fun so far. I really liked it because it's I had to think, okay, what can I do with that round circle on top of it? But now I chose this one in the middle, and I already blew it up a little bit. And now I'm just gonna bring down the opacity, create a new layer, and just take the regular round brush. And I squeezed it a little bit so you can see it's just squeezed there a little bit. That's the only thing that's a bit different about it. And now I'm just gonna try it and fill in shapes here. Let me make my brush a little bit thicker. I have 3000 by 3000 for this canvas, and I usually go up to 20-25 with my brush at this size, just so I don't waste too much time with too detailed lines. And yeah, so what I saw, well, when I saw this, I was thinking, okay, obviously this is some sort of Mech that has wheels on the end of these tracks. I guess they're legs or something like that. But yeah, I was thinking like, okay, so this is just like a really fast rolling around type of situation. And my approach here is like, I just draw over the shape a little bit, and if it's needed, I deviate, just because it can happen. And I erase a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, because I'm just trying to almost sculpt in areas to see what I see there, what actually is happening. So it often happens that I draw in a line and I look at the gray in the background and I see something else. I feel like here I don't mind wasting a little bit of extra time, especially in the beginning, until I find something that I like. So I just drop shapes as well, but I like to think about, okay, so what would be the function of whatever I just drew there? Would there be a function in having something like that? So right now I'm thinking, okay, so this could be some sort of either police or maybe even a fire mech that is always there first, showing up first at the scene of some sort of incident. And now I was thinking from the beginning, should I split this up into two? So sometimes I take away the lines and I look at it without the lines. And then it does look like it would make sense to split it up. So I'm going to try that. But yeah, as I said, it's all about as soon as you have a function in mind, you start seeing different things within the shape, and I can start adding different. So I'm not just gonna stick with whatever was there from the beginning. I know, like, okay, so that I know if I want this to be a fire engine, fire truck mech, I know that I will have to add some extra tidbits to it to make it be more functional, so it has a bit more sense to it. So I really like the upper area, like, because I imagine like these would be the sirens or the lights that like flash blue, white, yellow, whatever colors they have. But the front leg, and sometimes what I do, I just make a new layer and I just work on the front leg, because right now I see it as maybe it should be just one sort of leg with one tire in front of it, and here like this could be a whole, because it's fun to have mechs that are not just military, and it would be cool to have the the pump, the water pump system sort of here in the middle. So I can imagine like we would have a water pump here, and then I can duplicate my lower layer and just erase the front leg part, and then combine these two layers together, and then I can try and see if this is working for me. And as I said, once again, first I thought this whole thing is like one shape, but now I start seeing it as almost two shapes, and then that integrates sort of. So I do like the robotic arm for this. I might have to look up some references, how it would make the most sense to have it there. So imagine like this would be something that can easily navigate through traffic. So I would say a person would be something like this. Just so we have a scale, and then a fire hydrant would be something like this, right? I still like the idea of, yeah, it could carry like, it would have to carry a huge load of water, which I do not want, so it would be still cool if it would have the possibility of connecting to a fire hydrant. So maybe this here should be like the connection, and then this would be the robotic arm with the fire hydrant connection. Maybe keep it smaller and simpler. And then like this could be just a hose, and then this is the front side on the other side, the same thing, nicely rounded. I start to like this more. And then we could have like sort of small zoom in. I usually don't zoom in, but for this one, let's, well, actually, no, don't let me lie. I usually zoom in all the time. What I'm trying to do is to zoom in less. But if I want to put some details on this one, it's fine if we zoom in here a bit. So this would be the one that connects there, right, to the fire hydrant. So we can have all sorts of gears and something like that. It's like a lock-on mechanism. And we still have, let me make the eraser a bit smaller. So we have the tube running through here. And what is actually cool as well, that I can make this like a see-through area where the tube will run through here as well and connect maybe to this main body area. Let's zoom out. I'm a bit zoomed in too much. So we'd have the main body area there. And this is the tube connection. And now, okay, that's a tube connection. I would need, let me take this away. So I would say, let's have that. And then there we would have, this would be just a tube as well here. Oh, I'm starting to see. So that's cool, because now we have these two round things. And now I imagine these as turbines that, so water comes in here, goes
in there through the tube, and then gets diverted in those two, speed the water up a little bit, and it comes around, and here we will have the, I don't know, the end part of the hose, the water hose. I don't know if that is the correct description. Okay, so this needs a little bit more, this definition is what I wanted to say. But I do like the idea of having it somewhat see-through. So this is the hose going through there. So we have the see-through part, and this is another. So how many parts do we want for, because right now it's a little bit flimsy, so I might, sometimes we have these ideas that seem like a great idea and they might just not work. So instead of torturing that, I'm just gonna do the front leg part, yeah, which is, as we agreed, is not necessarily a leg, it's more like a bike. So that's also why I decided to go with a interesting one front wheel thing, is because it reminds me of a futuristic bike, something like from Akira. Like I imagine this like taking corners like crazy, fast, but it's a little bit wide now. So let me see if I can make it a little bit less wide. I mean, I like the bulk there, but the bulk also makes it look a little bit less fast. So I do not want to lose that. And now I'm thinking something that I could do is just keep the whole thinking about keeping the whole connecting part just on the front leg. So I will call it front leg, just so you guys don't get confused. This front part of the bike mech thing will be the front leg. Wow, it is hard to communicate, isn't it? Okay, so the whole idea is, as I said, the whole cylinder here rotates like that. So I think that's there. Then the thing can extend. So I would say something that would be cool if, let's say, here or somewhere it just detaches. I will explain that in a So let's say we have our thing here. This comes here, it's attached, and then here, where I put the two arrows, it actually detaches, so our robot can go a little bit further away where the fire is, and then from here it spritzes the water. That's what I see as the logic, because it can go forward, backward, always, every direction it wants to go. And then, obviously, here we would have, oh, let's not connect it there because this might need to turn and rotate as well. So I am just going to connect it somewhere there. Here we can add some sort of whatever the local, what is fire department's colors would be. And at this point, what I want to do is bring down the opacity on this one as well and just create a new layer. And now I'm gonna maybe zoom in a bit more, but also just gonna shift click and just try to recreate the whole thing, but then with a little bit more detail. And for that, I can also we can speed up a little bit. And let's see where we end up. So this area I feel needs some of the most detail because this is a mechanism that is going to rotate around quite a bit. So as I usually say, I don't mind drawing some extra lines just for myself to understand what the front, back, and the proper parts of the mechanism are, even if later on I'm going to erase them, just because I want to make sure that it looks correct. At one point, it can easily happen that you just lose the thread, especially if you zoom in a lot like I do. And then, okay, what am I doing here? But then it's okay to just throw in, at least that's what I do. I just throw in a couple of random shapes and I know that, okay, so at least there's a geometric shape there. And then I can correct whatever needs to come there. Right now I'm still not 100% sure about the leg joint area there. So I wish I was more of a thinker like Chroma Moma. I listened to one of his, at least in one of his videos, he was talking about sitting and just thinking about how to draw something before he's putting pen to paper. But this just said it does not work for me. I'm very much, let me start drawing and then I can start fixing. Which I don't know if it's a good solution or not, but that's just my solution. And as always, I like to move away from a problem area and just try and fix a different problem area that at least I see a solution for. There we go. Here I didn't like the ellipses and I think that now they are working quite a bit better. Something like that. And then we can have a smaller one for the cable there. Well, not cable, hose, as we agreed. And this part of the hose is a little bit under tension as well. There we go. That's fine. We need part of the mechanism here, which I'll say let's cut a bit away there. So this would be that is helping this whole thing here rotate left and right. So I want to suggest that a bit. and I jump away just because I notice that I'm concentrating too much on smaller areas and my whole mech is not visible yet. And I want the whole mech to be palpable and visible before I start detailing. So I want to suggest some different movements around different axes. So I'll just make sure to draw in an extra different rounded object, but then looking in a different, slightly different direction. I am happy. Like, this is a bit too forward, so we need to cut back, and obviously the hinge itself or the joint itself would be somewhere there. And doesn't need to be that high if the joint is there. Yeah, something like that. Then probably we have some mechanics and robotics there, so I can just darken that area. A little bit of shadow. Bring back the under sketch. I do like this thing here, so I don't know what function I could give it, but I do like the idea of having it there. This area I am imagining as some sort of suspension, so to make the ride easier. So I'm just adding some elements that might remind us of that. And also some pistons, because pistons always work nice. And just some tech detail. As I said, if you have the opportunity, copy and paste. It does not have to be perfect. It has to communicate the idea for us. So this is at a different angle, so that's why we're drawing it like that as well. No, it doesn't quite make sense, but I am not bothered by it now. Maybe here I can also change this off. I don't want it to be that tight, so I'll just give it a little bit of a bend there. And obviously we can have some tech element that is keeping the hose down there. And then I'm going to take away most of the things, bring back this just to bring in my fire people coloring. Well, it's not coloring, it's gonna be more like an emblem or something that this fire engine has. Maybe here as well. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then a nice band. I went a bit, not really in the proper perspective there. There we go. That's fixed up. This line I need to follow. And now I can do a little bit of detailing. So where do we need what sort of mechanical solutions to connect things, right? Because not everything makes perfect sense just yet. And then this is just a little bit of the, as you saw in my previous drawings for these, detail level does not to be that high, and I cheat a lot with just some random details a lot in this early stage. For example, I feel like it would be cool to have an extra, what you would call it, sensors here. So this would be the whole driving area. Leave a little bit of a bright spot for the camera. Come again. And now I'm working with a 10 thickness for my brush. This can be a little bit nicer. There we go. Add a couple. So technically there's quite a lot of empty elements here, but I don't mind it that much. That's a bit too thick. Let's stick with 25. So I'm just gonna draw in the shadow area, and I'm gonna draw in my fire guy as well. Let's see if it's worth making him look any. I always love whenever I draw a mech and a guy, I add some sort of console to their hands, and then they're checking something in relation to the mech. I'm gonna push my brush thickness up a little bit just to give it some extra darker lines. We have overlap here and there, and I want my lines to be a little bit stronger where we have overlap. You can already see that it pops out a bit more there. Also, this leg is in the front, so yeah, I want it to be a little bit thicker. So the thing is, I don't want it to be overly detailed everywhere, because we already have, this is a busy area, and this, well, this and this, these are the busy areas. So I do want to keep some areas that are relatively not busy. What I can do is, on a new layer, just do a generic fire sign, something like this, and then I can copy paste. That's enough. I can copy paste this a couple of times.
And with that, we come to the end of the video. I hope you liked it and learned something from it. If you did, hit that like button. Feel free to hit that dislike if you didn't like it, but I would rather you comment and tell me what you didn't like about it, because then I can try and change it next time around. But just in general, feel free to comment. I love reading your opinions and ideas regarding these videos. As always, you can also follow me on Instagram if you want to see more regular drawing updates, and you can support me if you want to on Gumroad or buy me a coffee. Links are in the description down below. And then, as always, the most important thing is that you guys have a great week, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.